Kak Comil cakap hai.
Welcome back to the channel and part 2 of our round here at Temple Park. Today we're approaching the back 9 and we're going to discuss how to stay under par after you have shot an under par round in the front 9. This can be applied similarly to whatever level or standard of golf you are playing. So for instance, if you have shot something such as 3 over, which is maybe something very good for you if you've never broken 80 and you're really trying to break 80 during this round, these are all tips that I hope that you can apply to shoot your lowest round this year. Primarily, what I really wanted to discuss here is how to know when to attack certain holes and how to know when to be conservative. Very simply, when you have an approach shot which you are using something such as a wedge here, I'm using a 48-degree wedge, you know that you can be a little bit more aggressive with that approach shot. However, this also depends on your skill level and your level of confidence. Comfort is super important. If you are not comfortable with a shot, it is much better to just play it safe and get it somewhere on the green or in a good position for your next shot.
Can I get a mulligan?
That was a quick no by your son.
Can I get a mulligan?
Just jump. But the grass is left right.
I thought it's right to left.
Compared to the previous hole where I had a 48-degree wedge, here I have a 6 iron. Like I said previously, it depends on your comfort level. Some people's favorite clubs could be their 5 hybrid, their 5 wood. So it doesn't really matter what the number is as long as you're comfortable with it. I also feel like some holes just generally look better to some people's eyes compared to others. So if you see a hole where you feel like, okay, this is one that I can go for, then 100% go for it. This hole looked ideal to me off the tee, and I ended up hitting a good shot and giving myself a short-range birdie putt here on the 11th hole. Like I said, the number doesn't really matter, comfort is more important. Assessing each hole is very important. Over here we have a par 5. A lot of people go into par 5s thinking this is their chance to attack. The first thing you need to understand is, for instance on this hole, in order for me to go for the green, I would have to take a pretty aggressive line. From this tee box, those trees are pretty close even though it might not seem so from the camera, and therefore I felt more comfortable just choosing a little bit more conservative line and completely taking the OB out of play. My line was still a little bit too conservative and I ended up in the rough, but I knew approaching this hole that it was going to be a 3-shot hole for me. I did not plan to go for the green in 2 unless I really cut the corner, and I knew that over here I didn't really need to go for the green in 2. If you saw the front 9 vlog, Temple Park has very undulating greens, so sometimes laying up gives you a better position to actually attack the pin, and I know for this par 5 that is likely going to be the case because this green is pretty tricky as well. An important part of being able to shoot a good score is to be able to stick to your own game and play to your own strengths. It can be very tempting, especially when you see your playing opponents or your playing partners, for instance, go for greens on par 5s. Maybe they hit a better tee shot than you did, maybe they're in the fairway and you're in the rough, or maybe they're just more confident and more comfortable with that shot. However, most of the time I would say if you created a plan, especially if you approached the par 5 knowing that it was going to be a 3-shot hole, you should stick to your plan because there must have been a reason why you thought that this was a 3-shot hole. Playing your own game and knowing your own strengths is going to be the most important part of being able to shoot good and consistent scores.
Uh-oh. Nice bird. What a drive.
Just now I mentioned that if you have something like a wedge or something that is shorter, you are likely to want to be more aggressive because you have a higher chance of success with something such as a pitching wedge versus something such as even a 7-iron. One of the things that we don't want to do, however, is to put too much pressure on quote-unquote easier shots. When we have something such as a wedge into the green, we still want to focus on going through our entire process and picking a good and smart target. Then we just want to focus on the target. Focusing on making a birdie or hitting it close never ever actually turns out well.
Eat it. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Illegal pin.
Like I've said before in previous vlogs, having a plan, choosing good targets, and trying to get yourself in good positions are super important because especially when you're able to execute well, you're going to give yourself tons of opportunities. However, we know that we are playing this game called golf. One of the parts of being able to shoot good scores, to break barriers, to be consistent, is to be able to accept that everything is not always going to be perfect.
Okay, the pattern's good. That's all that matters.
However, like I said, choosing good targets and giving yourself a good plan, which might even include knowing where to hit, that even if you hit a miss, you're still going to get yourself in a good position. These are all things that are going to help you be more consistent in golf and also regulate your emotions, as you're going to be less frustrated with this game in which we really cannot control what happens once the ball leaves the club face. Another par 5 at which I cannot go for the green. Pretty narrow, especially from the looks of the tee shot. Again, comfort, comfort, comfort. You know that you can't reach the green in 2. Go for something that you feel comfortable with off the tee. That could be a driver, that could even be an iron. But you really want to get your ball in play for this tee shot. I know we all say that we need to get it as far and as close to the green as possible to shoot lower scores. But if you hit it in the OB, you're not going to shoot a better score anyway. So getting the ball in play and hitting fairways is super important. Similarly, for the second shot, I could get it as far as I possibly can and give myself as close of an approach shot as I can, especially because it's all downhill past that slope. However, one of the things that I mentioned was knowing when to be aggressive, and holes like this, hitting fairways is more important than hitting it as far or as close to the green as you possibly can. Knowing when to be aggressive is so important in golf. This will not only help you be more consistent, but it's one of the keys to eliminating the big numbers in golf. We all know that with golf we are going to make mistakes, and with mistakes we are going to make bogeys. However, bogeys never really cost us. It is the doubles and the triples that really cost us our good scores. So what we need to do if we want to break barriers in our scoring is to be able to eliminate and minimize our mistakes by knowing when to be aggressive and when to be conservative. Another factor to knowing when to be conservative and when to be aggressive is also based on a pin position. Although this might seem like a hole where we want to attack the pin, especially because I'm hitting a pitching wedge, this pin is tucked left and you cannot go past it. Going past it means that you're going to be either chipping from all the way down a slope or you're going to be in a bunker behind the green. Neither of those are options that we would want to explore. Especially because we're hitting a pitching wedge, we need to know even a bad shot is going to end up on the green. You will see this later, but even though my reaction seems pretty bad because I did push it a little bit further right than my desired target, I still ended up giving myself a shot from the green. This is what I mean by knowing when to be aggressive and conservative based on pin positions. Even though I did not hit a good shot with the pitching wedge, I still gave myself a chance for birdie by putting myself on the green and took off the big numbers by not bringing those bunkers or difficult chip shots by short-siding myself into play. Again, this is what's going to minimize those big numbers on your scorecard.
Susah nak pati.
So I hope you guys are able to take away something from this video about how to better approach the game, especially when you are trying to break through certain milestones or barriers. I hope you guys enjoyed this beautiful 18 hole out here at Temple Park, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks again for watching another episode of Golf with Jen.
Hey, go.
It's the grass. It's the grass.
Get in.